Okay, so we are live again. Let me share us the link. We are live again. Who is here? Okay, so who else is joining us on the call? Who else? Who else? Who else? We alive. We alive. We alive. Family financial structures to put in place in marriage. Okay, okay, okay. All right. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us where you're joining us from. I have someone on the call. Okay, so where are you joining us from? Okay, so it's actually going to be a summary of where we stopped the last time. Any other challenge? Okay, so it's opening now, right? Okay, so yes, yes, yes. Olebube, welcome. Welcome. So we're talking about family financial structures to put in place and we already started, but let me recap. I talked about the four you need to separate your monies. I also talked about that there are three places or three things that you need to put your money into. First of all, you need to check your income, you need to have a savings, and you need to have investment. So before you get married, there should be a source of income. Okay, there should be source of income, there should be savings, and there should be investment. Please do not marry anyone who doesn't have a source of income, whether a man or a woman. Okay, so don't say don't marry people because just because they are beautiful. Someone was actually how to choose who to marry, but let me talk to you about who to choose financially. So if you want to marry someone, the person has to be an individual first, an individual that can take care of themselves first. Whether they are male or female, they need to have a source of income. No matter how small it is, they need to be able to generate money, because whoever that does not work should not eat. So don't marry a liability in a man, don't marry a liability in a woman. It is all left for you probably after the marriage that both of you will now decide that one person will no longer work. Okay. And when I'm talking about working, I'm not just talking about 9 to 5 or having a job. It could be a business. So when I'm talking about work, I mean maybe a business. So you can now decide, because of our children, because of this, because of that, the income that we have will be enough for us. Okay, so you may need to stop working, or you may need to stop going to your business. But it is a red flag to actually marry a man or a woman who does not have a source of income. It is a very big red flag. Don't do that. Okay, no matter how good you think the person is. Then the second criteria that you need to learn, or you need to use to choose who to marry, is their vision. Okay, for some days now, we're talking about having a vision, and it's not just a man who should have a vision, a woman should have a vision for your life, for your personal life. What is marriage? Marriage is that I am going to Lagos, you're going to Lagos, let's go together. That's just what marriage is. Marriage is not that we're getting married to start giving birth. It's not that we're getting married to start having sex. It's not that we're getting married to come and start solve each other's problem. Marriage is that we are getting married to help each other achieve our vision for life. So if I am going to Lagos and you're going to Gabon, our our destination is not the same. Destiny is equal to destination. It's not the same. Okay, so I can't be going this way and you're going that way, I will marry. No, it is that I'm going this way and you're going my direction, I will marry. And this my direction you're going to is not that I am the one making you to go to that direction. No, it's not like because you now know that I want to go to Lagos, you now say you are going to Lagos. No, it is that you by yourself as a person, you have decided that you are going to Lagos on your own, then we can now go together. So vision is a determinant on who you should marry. I told you a story and I told you how my husband asked me what defines your life, and I told him there are two things that define my life: relationship coaching and real estate. And for him, this is something we have not talked about. He said these are the two things that his life was actually focused on. And that day we knew we were supposed to be together. Now, in this marriage, I'm doing relationship coaching, I'm doing real estate. He's doing relationship coaching, he's doing real estate. And if I do me, I am doing him and I'm doing us. If he does what he wants, he's doing himself, he's doing things for me, and it's just a beautiful thing. So nobody will come and say, you are not putting I in my own, you are not helping me, you are, because there is no my own. Our own is our individual own. So if there is no cohesion in purpose, if there is no cohesion in vision, it will be hard to have a very good marriage. So you need to sit down and ask yourself. You always hear people say, for you to marry right, you have to be the right person. How do you be the right person? How to become the right person is to know who you are, is to find your purpose, to find your vision. What do you want to do with your life? Then this person talks about what they want to do with their life, and you check if there's an alignment, both of you can marry. Now, when you've decided this, I'm not talking about career. Okay, so I'm not saying I want to be a medical doctor and then this person now wants to be a nurse and we now move together. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I am saying that if you are there is a cohesion together. Let me say that I am a business person. I want to marry a medical doctor, and what I want to do is to save lives. How do I save life? I open my business and I make money and I use it to donate to charity. And this my doctor now is saving life by being in the hospital. So, like, there are different ways to arrive at the same time or at the same place, but there has to be cohesion of purpose. Now, let me explain this now. Vision purpose is teachability. Please don't marry anyone who is not teachable. Then you need to look at your faith. Okay, so if you're a Muslim, it's always good to have a Muslim. If you're a Christian, it's always good to have a Christian, so that there will be that mutuality in faith. All right, and then finally is family constitution. You got to have a family constitution. Let me share a few things about our family constitution. We now created a constitution for our family, especially as is regards fighting, especially as regards quarreling. Okay, so we've not actually fought, we have not quarreled to a point. Why? Because we have rules, we have a constitution that is helping us to stay sane. So I'm going to list about a few of them so that you see that every family that is functioning well, they have a constitution. Just imagine a country, let's say Nigeria doesn't have a constitution. It won't work. So when we say that marriage is an institution, it means that that institution needs to have a constitution that is governing them. Number one is that we decided, one of our constitution is that we will not use curse words in our home. No matter how angry you are, no curse words. Number two is that we're not going to hit each other. So no matter how angry you are not going to hit me because you're angry. No matter what I have done, we're not going to hit each other. The third thing in our constitution is that we also decided that no matter what have happened, we're not going to report ourselves to our parents, to our siblings, to our friends. We have a marriage counselor that we both of us agreed to our marriage to. We started doing that when we were dating. So this is the only person for the past 5 years who has ever heard of our issues. It was because it is in our family constitution. Okay. Then the fourth thing we have in our constitution as regards okay, I was talking about as regards fighting, but let me make it general so that you can get to maybe pick a few things out of it. Is that we now decided that we're going to do a lot of investments. So we will invest more than we spend. So how are we going to invest more than we spend? We're going to save more than we spend. Okay. Then the fifth one is that we also learned that we decided that food will be minimal in our home. So there are people, the two major things that Nigerians or everyone are in the world spend their money most on is accommodation and feeding. So that's what is actually taking your money. Okay, so we decided that, well, of course, we feed well, we eat well, but we decided that feeding will not take a lot of our money. So you see how a constitution is actually guiding us. Another constitution we have is that we're not going to sleep angry with each other. So if there is an issue, we need to deal with that issue, okay? And then when we deal with that issue, before we sleep, the next constitution we have is that if we deal with an issue and something will occur in the future, you are not permitted to resurrect what you have dealt with. So if we deal with it is in the past. The eighth thing we have in our constitution is that sorry is not enough. So if there's an issue and we tell each other sorry, sorry is just a way to calm our emotions down. Sorry is just a way to get us to talk to each other. But if there is an issue, sorry is not a way to resolve it. So we all know that when something happens, we say sorry. After a while, we will come back and visit that issue and we'll ask ourselves, what happened? What made you angry? What made, and when we sort out these issues, we have noticed over time that they don't come back again. So they don't resurface again. So your family needs to have a constitution. Let me show you how it shows up in your family financial structure. Now, a vision is a picture of where you want to go as a person. And when you become when you get married, it is this your personal vision that you carry into your marriage. So if you don't have a personal vision, it's likely that you don't have a vision for your marriage. All right. So a picture of where you want to go. Purpose now becomes, why do you even want to go there? What is your purpose for life? Why do you want to do this? In this life, you can't have a good family. I'm telling you, a good family is not what you want to raise. You want to raise the right family. There is a difference between a good family and the right family. Are we there? Are we there? If you're getting something, please tell us. Say in the comment section, encourage us. Let me be sure that you are here. So there's a difference between a good family and hmm, yes, thank you. Never marry anybody without a source of income. Okay. All right. Okay. So thank you. So there's a difference between a good family and the right family. Sometimes when people say they want to raise a good family, they actually not raise any kind of, they will raise any kind of people. Okay. Now the right family is a family that has a purpose and a vision. A good family is a family that is generic. There is nothing they are working towards. So imagine leaving your house and you now go, you enter your car, you say you're going anywhere. You don't do that. So when you get married or you're living your life without a vision, that's how you are just moving, but you don't have a direction. So if in your marriage there is no vision, it means that that marriage does not have direction. Anybody can do anything. There is no rule. There is nothing that is limiting us and say, because of this, I will not do this. Let me give you an example. If my vision as an outlet is to go for World Cup, okay, now because I have this vision to go for World Cup, there are some kinds of food I will not eat. There are some kind of drinks I will not have. There are some I will not do because I want to go to World Cup. That's how it is in marriage. So you see people in marriage, they come back. In my house, don't come back anything later than 7 p.m. It's part of our constitution. What led to this constitution? The vision we have for our home. So if you don't have a vision for your home, you're going to raise any kind of family, and it will show in your finances. In showing your finances, I also use myself as an example, because the things that we have been able to achieve in 5 years, we wouldn't have been able to do it if we didn't set out to do them. We have one of our friends who he came from a poor family. He kept saying that when people were buying land, where was his father? Where was my father when people were buying properties? Because we went somewhere to actually price a property, and they told us that the price is actually 100 million. And he was angry. Where was my parents when they were buying these properties? And I asked him, "Are you married?" He said, "Yes." "Do you have a child?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Have you bought any property?" He said, "No." And I told him, don't ever allow your child to repeat this statement you made. Because if you don't buy a property now, your child will also grow up and ask you, where were you when others were buying property? So why would he say that? It was because the father didn't have a vision for the home. So the only thing they were thinking about is how to eat food, send their children to school, buy good clothes and wear, live in a good house, and that was all. So that's how to have a good family. But if you have a vision and know that this is what we want to do in our home, it will help you to curtail a lot of things. Okay, so let's say that you're building a house, all right, and then you come home, you go and buy materials, you're showing your children, you're showing your wife the level of work that is going, and then they wake up and they say, "Hey, honey, give us 10,000 naira to go and buy this. Let's go out and eat this. Let's go out. I want to buy this." You say, "No. See, this money will buy us 2 bags of cement. It will buy us this. It will buy others. When we are done with this building, we'll go and celebrate." You see that whoever that you have, they will just be excited. You show them the plan. This is your room in this building. This is that. They will be so happy. You also show them, we are going to have tenants. We are going to have this. You're going to have that. All of these things come from vision. Don't ever start a family without having a family vision, because vision gives you direction. Then the next thing you need to do is not to have just vision. You also need to break it down into goals. Okay, so I'm going to show you with myself how we have done this. Remember, I told you that our family vision is we are working towards in the area of helping people, relationship coaching, and of course in real estate. So when we got married, we didn't have all the money. You know, real estate is actually very capital intensive. What we do, we told ourselves, we said, because we don't have all the funds to start doing, witness that that plot of land will be nothing less than 100 million. Nothing less than 100 million. So imagine that your children just finished, they just graduated, and you now, let's say you don't have money anywhere, but it will not happen to you. Okay, but let's say they finish, you don't have money anywhere. You go and take one plot of land you bought 30 years ago, bought 20 years ago, you sell it or you lease it out, and you raise 100 million, you raise 200 million, and you give it to your child and say, "I am settling you." How like, let's say now that your parents gave you such amount of money to start life. When you read about Dangote, they gave him funds to start his business. He didn't start from the scratch. Mark Zuckerberg didn't start from the scratch. Most of the people that were looking at didn't start from the scratch. Even Davido that were celebrating and just got married, think the money he was spending is just his money. He didn't start from the scratch. If you start from the scratch, he will not be where he is. Your children need to stand on your shoulder, and the only way they will be able to stand on your shoulder is if you can see the future, and that future is in your vision. And you have to look at, how do I achieve this vision? That's your mission. The mission, we now decided to say, "Oh, we're now going to be buying plots of land because we can actually save 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 5 million to buy plots of land. Oh, yeah, we can actually do it." And we started buying plots of land. And after some years now, we've had some plots of land, and we now said, "Okay, we can start building because we have the funds to build." You see how mission is helping us. So when we started newly, there were things, there were times, Christmases, we did not travel. Our eyes was on our goal. We must achieve this. We must do this. We must do that. So it now helped us to cut off a lot of unnecessary expenses so that we can be able to achieve our goal. So if you check us in the next 5, 10 years, you'll see that where we will be is not where we are, because we saw where we want to go and we now decided how to get there. That's a family financial structure to put in place. Vision, mission, how you're going to go to that place, and then purpose, why do you actually want to go to that place. So I've talked about family vision, I've talked about family mission, I've talked about family purpose, I've talked about family constitution. So if you are dating, if you're cutting, if you are engaged, these are the things you need to sit down and create. So when you sit down and create these things, you can even frame your family vision and put in your sitting room. You can frame your family constitution so that when your children come, you can tell them, in this house, we don't do this. In this house, we don't come back late. In this house, we don't do this. We don't do that. In this house, we read. In this house, we don't see movies every day. Because of our family constitution, we have a fun day, which is on Sunday. So when I am done with this webinar, I am actually going to be running home for our family fun day where everybody comes. So when our children comes, they will always be rushing back home to the family fun day. This is a family financial structure to put in place. Then the next family financial structure to put in place is a learning structure. You must have a way that you are consistently learning. Some of us, immediately you go to school and graduate, you no longer the knowledge you had that was enough for you when you were single will never be enough for you now you are married. Or when you get married, you need to learn some more. We are relationship coaches, but we are always learning. So if you are in my circle, you must be a learning person and you have a structure for learning. Let me show you the structure we created, a learning structure we created for our home. When we get home in the evening, we have a Bluetooth speaker. Okay, so each time we download books. When we download these books, we put the books in our phones and we have a Bluetooth speaker. So when we come back home from work at night, I'm cooking, my husband is doing anything, you are anywhere we actually live in a double flat. It's actually a very big home. So wherever you are, we just hang it in a central place where everybody will be hearing it, and we're playing books, we're playing tapes, and we're learning. How if someone now says something that is a punchline, we pause it, we'll come back, we discuss it in a few minutes, we'll go back again. So we can tell you that in a week we have read so number of books, we have listened to so number. So what you saw me know, like the level of knowledge I had last week, will never be the level of knowledge you see me have this week. We wake up in the morning after our morning devotion, we put out something, we are taking our bait, we are cooking, we are preparing to go to work, we are listening. What are we doing? We are maximizing our ear time. So you must have a way to learn. Financial intelligence is very, very important. You must learn about money. The money issues. Okay, after now, I'm going to be running a webinar on the 14th on how to make your first million online. If you've not been able to make your first million online, I'm going to run a webinar and I'm going to post it in our group. If you have not seen it, you can actually indicate interest and all that. So I've been online in the online space actively for the past 6 years. That's since 2018, and I've made a lot of money from online. Facebook has paid me, Google has paid me. I've been able to make personal money from there. So if you've not made your first million online, I'm going to show you how to do it. But how were we able to ever get to all of these things? Is all boils down to learning. The rules of money has changed. Money is one of the easiest things to make. Very easy to make, very easy to manage, very easy to multiply, but you have to learn how to make it. So in recap, with all of these things I've talked about to have a structure for learning, have a structure expenses, and then I've also talked about investments. Then I've also talked about having family vision, mission, family purpose, and having a family constitution. All of these things matter. These are proper financial structures to put in place. So, in recap, I'm going to give you tips that will help you. Number one, you need to learn how to handle in laws when you get married. Remember, when you marry someone, you're not just marrying a person, you're marrying the family. So there's going to be demands from in laws. How are you going to sort out this? You need to decide so that it's not tomorrow your husband will not say, maybe there is a family that is more in financial need more than the other, and then the family, you are a couple, you as a couple, you are not giving to this family. Before you know it, the other person will not, your spouse will start thinking, what about my family? Okay, so you need to have a structure to take, suggest to you the things that we do, and I know it has worked for us and it will work for you. Number one is, you need to decide, are you financially stable to carry the financial burdens of your in-laws? Are you financially stable to carry the financial burdens of your in-laws? You must decide this so that it's not you're giving to this person, you're not giving to this person. If you're not financially stable, you can go and meet them and say, Daddy and Mommy, we are not ready. We did it. We are not ready to carry any financial burden. We are trying to find our feet. But immediately we find our feet, we'll come back. So if you decide it that you're okay to carry the financial burdens, then the second question now is, how much money are you going to give to them? And what is the frequency to give them this money? Are you going to be paying them monthly allowance, quarterly allowance, or are you just going to be giving them money once a year? You must decide it so that whatever you decide, you say you are going to be giving them 20,000 per month. So for the both couple, for the both family, to be 40,000 per month, so that you can actually factor it in your family expenses. Number three is, how would you handle relatives visiting you, in-laws visiting you? You never can tell how much you will spend on visits when you have up to 10 people in your house at the same time. If you know how much you spend on feeding, you know that it's a family financial structure to put in place, and when you come from each family at a particular time. Because if you leave it, your relative from the village, they will follow you and come to Lagos. Your this person, they will come, your friends will come, this person will come, and before you know it, your house is crowded, your wife is cooking and bringing out, everybody's eating, everybody's. That's one of the mistakes that our parents made. They were not able to put a boundary to the visitors they allow in their house. Some of us, you grew up in a home that was like a community. You have about 15 people living in the same house at the same time. Do you know how much money goes into feeding for that? It is actually a lot of money. So you need to put a structure to relative visiting you, in-laws visiting you, and make it fair. So it's not like, because we are now, when it is not my people, anybody can come, but when it is my husband's people, they will not come. See, my husband's people have now become my people. So whatever rule that you set will apply to you and will also apply your to your spouse. So these are the small small things that will be taking money out of your pocket, and you will not even be aware that the money is leaking. And then on this, finally, I will allow us to ask questions, because I just actually brought out the things that will bring that will make us to spend a lot of money that you will not account for. Is to I'm going to finish it up with financial fidelity, or what is called financial infidelity. When we hear infidelity in marriage, we think of only sexual infidelity. No, there is what is called financial fidelity. Is when you are making an expenses. Infidelity is when you're making an expenses and your partner does not know. You are in debt, you go and borrow money, you did not tell your spouse. You are making expenses, you buy someone gifts out there, you send your mother money, and you did not tell them. Let me tell you what happened. When I got married newly, okay, so there were one of the things we made our parents understand is that we are one. So you can't tell my husband anything and tell my husband not to tell me. And you can't tell me anything. I tell my husband not to tell, like I tell me not to tell my husband. So we had to put out a united front. So they told me as a woman, oh, I'm telling you, my mother-in-law told me this. My mom also told me that as a woman, you need to be putting out small, small money somewhere that your husband will be aware of, so that when we ask you for money, you not go and use it and get your and get things for us. Or when you want to buy something yourself, you not go and use that money that you have saved. That's financial infidelity. And sometimes what works in marriage is divide and rule. Anybody who is not able to divide you as a couple cannot separate you, and they cannot rule. It's the day they start telling you things and tell you not to tell your husband or tell you not to tell your wife and you agree, that's the day they have started dividing you. So when we account, this is what we have done, this is what we have done, the money that what we will do in the next 6 months we have planned, the money that will come into we have foresaw that we'll make, we have budgeted them. The things we'll do in the next 5 years, we have planned. If you don't plan it, the next 5 years will come and go, and yet nothing will be done. So it is this budgeting, this meeting that we do that helps us to be financially stable. These are financial systems you need to put in place. Financial fidelity. They give you money to go and do something. Did you do it? What were the issues you encountered? Were there balance that came out of this thing? You bring it home. But we have funds for shayo, we have funds for jaye jaye, like when we make our budget, okay? So we put out personal funds that this is your pocket money, go and spend this however you want to use it to do this, do that, whatever you want to use it for, do it. But we have financial fidelity, accountability in your home. Being wealthy actually does not mean spending anyhow. You get money, you spend. Some of you will go and break your savings to help someone who doesn't want to break their own savings. Some of the people who are, you don't know, there are people who are professional beggars. That's also one of the structures to put in place. Have a budget for charity. Have a budget for charity. So in your expenses you put in your savings, in your expenses you put your investment, in your expenses you put in, of course, of course you need to spend money now, all of the other expenses that you put. Then part of the things you need to put in your expenses is budget for charity. So let's say that you do in the Christian folk, they do 10% and all that. So if you have, say you're doing 1% of your income, or you're doing 2%, 5%, 10% for charity, you keep it. So if you need to give someone money, you go to charity and give them. If the budget you have for charity finishes, you are not going to feel guilty, because people will, do you know that people who sit down and they will send those messages to 50 different people. They will customize it. You think it's only you that received that message, and you're running helter skelter. You go and break your bank, you bring out money and you send to them. You don't know that, oh, this person will send me 5K, this person will send me 10, this before they will be wealthy. But when you have budget for charity and someone comes to ask you for help, if you have funds still left in the charity, you take the budget for charity and send to them. If you don't have, you just know you are giving. I'm not, you can't trick me into guilt. I will always tell you, people steal more with emotions more than rob with guns. So and you may not have encountered people point a gun at you and say your money or your life. But a lot of people are pointing guns at you emotionally. They're emotionally blackmailing you and collecting your hard-earned money. They are called professional beggars. And one of the ways to deal with them, one of the financial structures to put in place in your marriage is to have a budget for charity. If you can give, there is still money left in that budget, you give them. If nothing is left there, you know you have given. Nobody will ever make you feel bad. You are now abroad, or you are making money, or you're working here, or you're doing this business and all that, and then you are not giving us money. You know you have given. And when it gets to the place that you have finished giving, you stop. Okay, so the last tip I'm going to give to us, and we ask our question, is give the person who knows, who is better at money management, to manage. If you're a man and your wife is more frugal, Give her your money to manage. If you are a woman and your husband is more frugal with money, give them. There are money personalities. There are people who are spenders. There are people who are savers. A spender also have, if a spender earns 1 million a month, they will spend 1 million a month. They will go and collect loan. Eh? They will collect loan and SWOT analysis. These are the things. This is how to date. Oh, SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? SWOT is an acronym that stands for strength, weakness, opportunity, and strength. As a person, you need to know your strength. Do you have strength with money? Can you even keep money? A lot of people say money does not stay with human beings. It's not true. There are human beings that can keep money. A human being like my husband can carry 1 million in their bag and they will not bring out 100 naira. They will not bring out 200 naira for transport. He has 1 million in his bag. If the money is budgeted, forget it. He will not bring it out. So you need to know your strength. You need to know your weakness financially. They give you money to keep, you go and use it for something else. Someone will SWOT analysis. As a couple, you sit down when you're dating, when you're cutting, or even if you're married, and know your strength and now collect the money management and give to the person who has more strength with money. It is going to help you. So I'll stop here and I'll have us ask questions. So please type what you have learned. If you have learned something, type it. If you have questions, ask. If just ask, in a few minutes we'll be done with the webinar. And I want to thank you. Thank you, Olebu Bimania, for joining. Thank you, Chineye, for joining. Thank you, Life and Lessons. Thank you for joining. Every other person. So I want you to share this live webinar, share it so that people can get to see it, share the link in your WhatsApp status and all that, then comment, ask your questions. What I'm just showing you are not just things we learned, they are things that have come by experience, so that you don't have to experience sad things before you put these things in place. So you do SWOT analysis, create a family vision, create a family mission, create a family purpose, create a family constitution, get a bank account for your savings, for investment, for emergency, and for expenses, then the tips how to handle your in-laws, visitors, and all that, all of these things that we have talked about. Do we have questions? Even from the videos that we've seen before, the courses that I've uploaded before, do we have questions so that we can address them before we call it a day? Okay. Okay, so Life and Lesson says don't allow them to put you under pressure because of their financial irresponsibility. We don't always have to rescue them with our money saved as a result of our financial responsibility. Allow them. Yes, that's true. There are some people you need to allow to suffer, especially your siblings. When they suffer like this, they will learn lessons. You don't have to always come out and you are saving them. They're in that trouble, you are saving them. Sometimes allow them to stay in that trouble. Let the trouble bat them black, blue, red, pink, yellow. They will learn lessons. When they come out of that, they will be fine. So, what are our questions? Are there things that you've noticed? Okay. So while I am waiting for us to answer this question, I'm going to tell us a story and then we wrap it up with that story. An old man was telling me this story a few years ago. He has actually died, he has passed on. And he said that one of his greatest regrets, and you know, when you regret something in the area of finance, that regret will just be entering your heart like this. He said that he was working, he had money, and then one of his neighbors died, and then the children came to him and told him that they want to bury their father and he was in debt. uh, they wanted to sell his property, a two-story building, and they want him to buy it. And he said he had the funds to buy it. After a while, he told them, his sibling came in, his brother came in, and then now told him that he needs to pay his school fees. The wife came and told him that let's buy this property. We can always pay school fees. Okay. Or the man was doing, like he said, he was doing, his mind was shaking. And then the wife suggested, "Ngwa, give back payment to these people. Let's know that we started paying them for it, and then let's use the other one to pay school fees and all that." The man said no. that the wife is actually trying. Welcome, Grace Adebayo, Grace. That the wife wants to come between him and his siblings. He didn't buy that two-story building. He sent them packing. He said after a few years, he lost his job and he couldn't pay his rent. His landlord took him to court. He couldn't pay. They came with bailiff, court bailiff, and threw his properties out with his 4 children and wife. There was no money to pay anywhere. It was his neighbor. They were living in down floor back. The person that was living in first floor front that took them in, gave him his sitting room. You can imagine packing all he sold off a lot of things and took out the valuables, and they slept in that man's sitting room for 3 months. Yet he couldn't raise the money. It was his friend that came and gave him money. He said at that time what he gave him was 24,000 naira. He went from living in 2-bedroom flat to living in 2 rooms. So he was homeless twice. This is a man who had the opportunity to own a 2-story building, but he didn't. See, life is in circles. You'll be up, you'll be down. It is a savings you made when you are up, the investment you made when you are up, that will help you when you are down. He said if he had known, it was not just that he wouldn't have been homeless. It was just that he also would have had a source of income, because he wouldn't be living in a 2-story building all by himself. He will have tenants that will be giving him money. So finally, you can't ever go wrong with investments, real estate, lands, and all that. You can't actually go wrong. So I'm not seeing any question here. I'm not seeing any question here. Okay, you can ask relationship-based questions. Any if it's not finances, how to find the right partner, is there any issues you're having now? Just a few questions. We have a few minutes to go and we'll call it a day. So any question like that, this is what happened to you, what happened to your friend, what happened to anyone that you know. I want to give us time to express ourselves. Does it mean I am a good teacher, that you understood everything I taught? Any question? Any question? Anyone typing? So put in these family financial structures. I'm going to send us, we're not stopping this, okay? So next month, July, we have lessons, things to learn. So stay in the WhatsApp group, just be looking at updates, and I'll be, helping you, your relationship and your finance. You've come to the answer to all your relationship questions. So in the absence of no other question, see, please, can we tell us how has it been for you? Did you learn anything? Okay. How has it been for you? I hope it wasn't a waste of your time. I hope you have learned something. I hope you are glad that you joined. Okay, someone is asking for a link to the WhatsApp group. Okay, so let me try to get it and send to you. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? So if we don't have any other thing to do, I will actually call it a day. So I'm trying to get the link. If you have the link, please actually post so that I can copy it. Okay. Okay, thank you so much. You said you said you learned so much lessons. Thank you. Chinaya said this happened to my dad. He's always there for his siblings. Now he's living in regret. It happened to a lot of people. A lot of people. It also happened to my dad. They are always gathering the whole community in their house. The money they used to feed this entire community can be able to do a building for them. But no, That's not it. They are now um, they are a community chief. Okay, so Adebayo, great. I'm trying to get the link to post. So any other question? So, like I said in the announcement in the group, we're going to have a webinar next month on the 14th, how to make your first millionaire online. Yes, we're also going to be learning about stock, bonds, investments to make. Yes, because I know a lot of us don't know where to put our money. So we'll also be doing, I'm thinking of starting a money school. Who is excited of starting a money school? A money school. Let me see your excitement in the comment section. Yeah. So I'm going to share our calendar for next month with you. Please, if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel so that each time we'll drop a video, you can get to see it. Adebayo Grace. Okay, so I'm going to stop the live webinar here, and then I will come back to you and respond to your comments with the link. Okay, so thank you guys, thank you everyone. I am so excited. Okay, so I need to go back to my husband. I need to go and have our family fun day. See you guys, see you soon. If there are courses you have not taken, take it. Invite your friends to join us. Share the WhatsApp group, the link to people to join us. It is all about money and relationship. That's what we are doing here. Money and relationship. If you're here, you will never, and you can never get it wrong in the money and relationship. Thank you guys. Bye. Bye.